Hello, I'm Dimiake Mwakaliele.
And I'm Vincent Makori. This is In Focus.
We begin in Niger, where soldiers have toppled President Mamadou Tanjda. VOA West Africa correspondent Scott Stearns has the latest.
Mutinous soldiers say they've suspended the constitution and dissolved the government that President Tanjda established following a controversial referendum last August.
Nous, forces de défense et de sécurité,
we, the security and defense forces, have decided to take responsibility and to put an end to a tense political situation. We ask the population to remain calm and to stay united around the ideals of the Supreme Council for the Restoration of Democracy, which will be able to make Niger an example of democracy and good governance.
President Tanjda was meeting with cabinet ministers at the presidential palace when the coup took place. Soldiers are now reportedly holding him at a military barracks outside the capital. President Tanjda has grown increasingly unpopular since he used an August referendum to expand his powers and give him another 3 years in office. When Niger's Constitutional Court and National Assembly said the referendum was illegal, the president dismissed them and replaced them with new judges and new lawmakers who back his new government. President Tanjda's supporters said he needed more time in office to finish a Chinese-financed oil refinery and a French uranium mine. But the referendum that extended his rule ultimately led to its collapse.
The United States does not support coups d'etats.
U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Johnny Carson.
We hope that those who have taken power in Niger will act very quickly and swiftly to move towards a transition government that will lead to elections and a resumption of democratic constitutional rule in that country.
Niger is already suspended from the Economic Community of West African States because of what it calls President Tanjda's unconstitutional rule. The alliance had been working with the government and its opponents on a power-sharing arrangement that would have allowed President Tanjda to stay in power while an interim government organized new elections. Regional diplomats must now work with Niger's new military leaders to return the country to democratic rule. Two of the men involved in this coup played big parts in the 1999 coup in Niger. That military government lasted less than a year before organizing elections that were ultimately won by President Tanjda. Back to you in Washington.
Joining us with more on the situation in Niger is VOA's Idrissa. Idrissa, welcome to the show. Now, you have been on the story. Tell us, what's the latest you're getting from Niamey?
The latest is the military, they set up a Supreme Council for Restoration of Democracy that happened yesterday. And a few minutes ago, I heard that they lift the curfew they installed, and they are holding discussion to find out that they're going to do on the political part.
Now, this is the third military coup in Niger since the 90s. And in fact, it's a coup that removed a strongman Colonel Ibrahim Barre in 1999 to pave way for Tanjda to come to power. Does this give hope that the military will hand over power to civilians very soon, possibly?
We don't know yet. For sure, there is a tradition of a coup since 74, 96, 99. And this situation, as Scott Stearns put it earlier, there was a kind of situation very difficult in the country. President Tanjda decided to stay in power after the end of his mandate. So I think the the ECOWAS tried to solve by mediation, but the president didn't want that. And I think all the conditions were there for a coup.
Yeah. Now, so Tanjda has already been condemned, as you mentioned, by ECOWAS, Africa Union, the international community for extending his rule by decree. Can it be said that he really doesn't get so much sympathy, both locally and internationally at this moment?
No, of course, I think the international community is condemning, but everybody knows that a lot of people were thinking that this may happen in Niger. What's going to happen next, what the military going to do, nobody knows, because sometimes they take over, they promise things they don't do. So I think the next week we may know what's going to happen in Niger.
Well, stay on the story. Thank you very much. That's Idrissa of the Voice of America.